All right, so today we're diving into something I think we all kind of think about every day,
Yeah.
and that is the weather.
Right.
We're going to be going deep into the world of AI weather forecasting,
Okay.
and specifically we're going to be looking at Google DeepMind's GenCast.
Interesting.
Now, you might be thinking AI for the weather.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit much?
Yeah.
But get this.
Okay.
In tests, it's actually beat out one of the best systems in the world.
Really?
The European Center for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts system,
Oh.
which is known as ENS.
Huh. Great.
So whether you're like a tech enthusiast or a weather geek or just someone who hates getting caught in the rain,
Right.
this deep dive has something for you.
Cool.
Uh,
What I find so fascinating about this is how GenCast is really kind of shaken up a field that's relied on these super complex, like physics-based equations for ages.
Okay.
It's like teaching a computer to be a meteorologist,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of giving it textbooks, you're feeding it just massive amounts of data about past weather.
So, okay, let's unpack that a little bit.
Yeah.
The Verge article that we've got here explains that instead of crunching equations like the ENS system,
Right.
GenCast uses machine learning.
Okay.
So imagine feeding a supercomputer decades of weather data
Wow.
from like 1979 to 2018.
Okay.
It learns to spot these patterns
Yeah.
and make predictions based on all of that information. It's almost like it's developing its own intuition,
Yeah.
but based on hard data.
That's a great way to put it, and the results are really impressive.
Okay.
So in a 2019 test, GenCast got its predictions right 97.2% of the time,
Wow.
which is amazing.
That's pretty good.
And what's really kind of eye-opening is its performance on specific events.
Okay.
For example, it was able to predict tropical cyclone paths with an extra 12 hours of lead time
Wow.
compared to the ENS system.
Oh, okay.
So that's crucial time for people to prepare
Yeah.
to evacuate.
Yeah, 12 hours could make all the difference.
Right.
So it's not just about getting the general forecast, right?
Right.
But it's about like nailing down those details of major weather events.
Yes. And the article also mentioned that GenCast did really well predicting things like extreme weather
Okay.
and even wind power generation,
Interesting.
which is really cool.
Wow.
And this is where the speed of AI comes in.
Okay.
GenCast can churn out a 15-day forecast
Uh-huh.
in just 8 minutes
Really?
using a single Google Cloud TPU v5. So to put that into perspective, imagine having a supercomputer
Yeah.
solely dedicated to weather prediction,
Okay.
allowing it to make these forecasts in minutes
Wow.
rather than the hours that it takes for traditional models.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But wouldn't running something like that, a
Yeah.
powerful AI like that,
Yeah.
use a ton of energy?
Right.
I mean, we hear all the time about the environmental impact
Sure.
of these huge data centers.
You raise a really important point.
Yeah.
While GenCast's speed could have environmental benefits,
Okay.
in the long run, we need to consider the energy that was used in training the model
Right.
initially.
Right.
So it's not a simple equation,
Yeah.
but it's definitely something to keep in mind as AI becomes more and more prevalent.
Yeah, it's a trade-off,
Right.
but potentially one that leans in favor of AI if it can become more efficient.
Right.
Now, I'm sure no system is perfect.
Well, of course not.
What are the limitations?
Well, one thing to remember is that technology is always evolving.
Right.
So GenCast was initially tested against a 2019 version of the ENS system, which has since been improved.
Right.
And while DeepMind says that GenCast performs similarly
Okay.
against newer versions,
Okay.
it's tough to make a direct comparison
Yeah.
with the latest and greatest ENS system
Right.
because of data limitations.
So it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges to some extent.
In a way, yes.
Okay.
One key difference is resolution.
Okay.
So GenCast works on a grid
Uh-huh.
where each square represents a quarter of a degree
Oh.
of latitude and longitude.
Okay.
The current ENS system uses a grid that is twice as detailed
Wow.
as that,
Okay.
and even more detailed than the 2019 version
Right.
that GenCast was originally tested against.
So why does resolution matter so much?
Good question.
Is it like having a higher resolution photo?
Exactly.
Where you can just see more detail?
Yes, a higher resolution grid means that you can make more precise predictions
Okay.
about smaller areas
Okay.
and weather patterns.
Got it.
The article also pointed out that GenCast currently makes predictions at 12-hour intervals, whereas traditional models often provide updates more frequently.
Oh, okay.
So this could be a factor in situations that need constant monitoring, like
Wow.
managing wind power throughout the day.
So it's super fast.
Yes.
But still needs to catch up in some areas.
Right.
It's interesting because the article quotes a meteorology professor,
Oh, really?
Stephen Mullins,
Okay.
who says we are trained scientists who think in terms of physics.
Right.
And because AI fundamentally isn't that, then there's still an element where we're kind of wrapping our heads around, is this good? And why?
I can see that.
So it sounds like there's some healthy skepticism from the folks who've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
But what I find promising is that DeepMind made GenCast open source.
Oh, great.
So this means that other researchers and meteorologists can actually dig into the code,
Wow.
see how it works, and even build on it.
That's a really good point.
So instead of it being like a black box, it's more of a collaboration.
Early.
But what does this mean for the future of weather forecasting?
Yeah.
Is AI going to take over completely? Or will it work alongside these traditional methods?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
Well, it's unlikely that AI will completely replace those traditional models anytime soon.
Right.
Physics-based models like ENS, they have a really solid foundation in understanding. You know how the atmosphere works? And they've been improved and honed over decades.
So they still bring a lot to the table.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not like they're going to become obsolete overnight.
Exactly. They offer a deep understanding
Yeah.
of the physical processes behind weather.
Yeah.
However, AI models like GenCast, they have their own advantages.
Okay.
They're incredible at analyzing huge amounts of data.
Right.
And spotting these complex patterns that humans might miss.
So it's about combining the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Kind of like having a team of human experts.
Right.
Working with a super smart AI assistant.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
Imagine a future where AI and traditional models are working together, complementing each other's strengths to give us even more accurate and timely weather predictions.
Okay, so now let's get to the part I think we all care about.
Sure.
How could this actually, change our lives?
Right.
We all rely on weather forecast.
Of course, we check the weather app before we head out.
Right, exactly.
Or plan our weekends around it.
Exactly.
But with AI, the impact could be much bigger.
Okay.
Think about disaster preparedness.
Okay.
More accurate predictions of extreme weather could give communities more time to evacuate, reinforce infrastructure, and ultimately save lives.
That's a huge deal.
It is.
And not just for people in the direct path of a storm,
Right.
but for everyone involved in an emergency response.
Exactly.
It could help them allocate resources better.
Yes.
Coordinate relief efforts more effectively.
Precisely. And let's not forget about energy.
Okay.
By accurately predicting wind patterns.
Right.
AI could help us make the most of renewable energy sources.
Okay.
Like wind power, leading to a more sustainable and reliable energy grid.
It's amazing to think about all the ways that this could impact our lives.
Yeah.
Both big and small.
I know.
From knowing when to pack an umbrella to preparing for major storms, it's all connected.
It really is. And while it's still early days, for AI weather forecasting, the potential is undeniably exciting.
Right.
The progress that we've seen with GenCast is proof of that.
Now, for my final question, do you think that AI will eventually take over completely? Or will these two approaches continue to coexist?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's unlikely that AI will completely replace traditional models.
Okay.
Anytime soon.
Right.
I mean, they've been the backbone of weather forecasting for so long.
Yeah.
And they still provide valuable insights.
So they're not going to disappear overnight.
Right.
It's more about finding the right balance.
Exactly. It's about leveraging the strengths of each approach.
Okay.
Traditional models give us that deep understanding of the physics behind weather, while AI excels at finding those hidden patterns and making really rapid predictions. Combining the two could lead to a whole new level of accuracy and insight.
It's fascinating to think about the possibilities.
It is.
This deep dive has definitely given me like a new appreciation for the complexity of weather forecasting and the exciting role that AI can play.
It's been a great conversation.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll be thanking AI for helping us plan the perfect beach day.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It really makes you wonder what else is out there.
It really does. It's a question that has a lot of researchers excited and buzzing about the possibilities.
You know, we've seen AI do some pretty amazing things.
Yeah.
Like helping doctors diagnose diseases earlier and even creating new medicines.
Yeah.
So if it can handle something as complex as a weather, could it unlock these secrets in other areas that we've struggled to predict?
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Imagine predicting earthquakes or volcanic eruptions with way more accuracy.
Yeah.
It could give people so much more time to prepare and evacuate, potentially saving countless lives.
It sounds like science fiction.
I know.
But the more we learn about AI, the more those lines start to blur.
It's true.
And it's not just about natural disasters.
Right.
Could AI help us understand things like traffic patterns in cities?
Yeah.
Maybe even help reduce congestion and pollution.
Absolutely. The possibilities are vast.
Yeah.
And we're really just scratching the surface.
But as we go deeper into this world of AI, you know, these AI-driven predictions, it's important to remember, I think, that with great power comes great responsibility.
That's a good point.
It's exciting to think about all the positive impact AI could have. But we also need to be mindful of the potential downsides, too.
Exactly. We need to make sure that it's used ethically.
Yeah.
And for the benefit of everyone.
Right.
Not just a select few.
Well said. Well, for those of you listening who are feeling adventurous, we encourage you to check out GenCast's open source code.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to make the next groundbreaking discovery in AI-powered forecasting.
The future is full of possibilities.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really fascinating to see how this field evolves.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Into the world of AI weather forecasting.
It was a pleasure.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep those minds curious.
Stay curious.
And those skies clear.
And enjoy the weather.